Your brand is losing customers right now, and not because you're missing something in your marketing, but because you're doing too much. And one of the most recognizable brands in the world, TED, or TED Talks, built its dominance by doing less, not more. In this video, we're going to break down how TED's clarity of purpose helped them become a household name, and how you can do the same to build a brand that stands for something people actually remember. We're Pink Studios. We've helped countless brands use this exact framework. Now let's show you how to use it. Almost every brand I speak to can't answer this one simple question. And if you can't either, the strategies in this video are going to change how you approach everything from messaging to marketing. But first, let me tell you a story. A British commander named Lord Raglan during the Crimean War issued a command to stop the enemy from hauling away captured guns. But by the time the message reached the cavalry, it was misunderstood. In foggy conditions, they charged into the wrong valley. One under heavy fire from both sides. The result was a brilliantly executed mission, but with a disastrous outcome. They acted perfectly on a misunderstood objective. And that leads us to the question most brands can't answer. In one sentence, why do you do what you do? I'm not even talking about your product, not your services. Not even your USP. I'm talking about the reason you even exist as a company. If you don't know that, and your team doesn't know that, then just like the cavalry, you might be running at full speed in the wrong direction. A brand without a purpose, a real why, is guaranteed to fail. Because if you don't understand what you're aiming for, neither will your team, your partners, or your customers. Every successful brand, from TED to Nike to Apple, understands this. Your why drives everything. Your content, your campaigns, your positioning, and your culture. And that why needs to be more than a slogan. Let me give you a real-world study to prove how powerful this is. At a community college, students in an intermediate algebra class were asked to write short essays on how math related to their lives, interests, or careers. The result? Students who wrote those essays saw significantly better performance than those who didn't. When people understand why something matters to them, they perform better, they engage, and they care. If your brand doesn't provide that clarity for your customers, they'll create their own story, and that story may be wrong, or worse, it may be irrelevant to what you're actually doing. You don't invent your purpose in a brainstorming session. You extract it from what's already true. Start with a simple piece of paper and ask yourself, what changes for the customer after we exist? Be brutally honest, because any sort of speaking in processes will hurt the overall outcome of this exercise. Ask yourself, why does that change actually matter in their life? Next, set constraints. Create 3 lines saying what we do, who we do it for, and what we refuse to do, even if it makes money. Now here's the real world test. If your team had to create 5 new campaigns next week, could they do it without you and still sound like your brand? If the answer is no, your intent isn't clear enough. It's decoration. And the issue with decoration is that it doesn't scale. TED solves this with their one-liner, ideas worth spreading. Those 3 words do 3 things. They define the goal, which is to spread ideas. They clarify values, clarity, insight, and usefulness. And they draw a boundary, which is being short, accessible, and focused content. With that clarity, thousands of TED Talks created by different speakers, editors, marketers, and designers all still feel like TED because their intent is clear. And that clarity is what drives the execution. Now that you understand the power of purpose, let's build what we call your operating intent. This isn't a tagline, but rather a decision-making compass. Ask yourself, after we exist, what is different for our customer? And for who specifically? Be precise, because everyone is not an audience, it's a lack of one. Use the ICP or the ideal customer profile to zero in on the buyer. Then define your what, not a service list, but a category you want to dominate. And then put it all together in one sentence. We exist to help who achieve what outcome by delivering what. If that sentence isn't immediately clear, you need to rewrite it, because your entire team should be able to use it as a filter for every decision you make. The sentence can be reworded, reconfigured, but the main point is that it needs to be cohesive and allow consumers to completely understand what you do and why. And here's where most brands fail. They inflate their services. They add more messaging and add more features and deliverables, thinking that more equals better, but that clutter doesn't help. Instead, it confuses, and that confusion is what takes people away from your brand. Every new message you add is a piece of noise your audience has to sort through. And if you're not careful, you bury your own value under complexity. The brands that win in 2026 and beyond won't be the loudest. They'll be the clearest. They'll be the ones whose content feels aligned, whose messaging feels intentional, and whose team can operate without guesswork. So if you're struggling with inconsistent marketing, unscalable creative, or unclear messaging, it's not a problem with your channels. It's a problem with your foundation. Because if your brand can't be summed up in one simple operational sentence, your audience won't remember it. So here's your next step. Take 30 minutes, write your operating intent using the framework we gave you. Then drop it in your team Slack, or even better, print it out and put it in your office wall. Make it the foundation for every campaign, product, decision, or hire you make. And if you're not sure who your ideal customer is, grab our ICP worksheet in the description. It's free and it'll help you identify exactly who you serve best. Thanks for watching. If this helped, like and subscribe if you want more actionable marketing frameworks like this one. This is Ping Studios, and we help brands scale, not by doing more, but by doing what matters most.